Hey everyone, and welcome to my pre-studio tour. It's not finished yet, it's still a work in progress, but it's almost complete. I just got a few more things to do before it's all good and ready to go. So what I'm about to show you is kind of messy, but I just want you to see the progress of what it's going to look like now. But don't judge, because like I said, it's a pre-production I'm showing you right here. Okay, so let's get this thing started. So I'm going to start on one end of the room and just describe some things and go all the way around. Now, like I said, it's kind of messy, it's semi-messy, but it's going to be straight by the time you see the final tour. So let's swing this camera around and see where we started at. So over here, I built this shelf to house all my music stuff and my hubs. So I got the U hub, I got the UMA hub, I got the Bulb system, I got the Arlo, and then I got the Synology drive for my Plex server. And yes, I got that old school phone right there. You never know when you're gonna need a landline. Down at the bottom, I got my office style printer. So this printer does scan, copy, fax, all that stuff. And it has two trays at the bottom that it can use to hold papers. Next to that, I have the backup power supply for my computer. So in case the power trips out on me, I will still have time to save the work that I'm working on without losing it. So now let's move on to the desk. So the desk is made up of 3 IKEA parts. You got the drawer section here. As a matter of fact, it's on both ends. And then we got the tabletop to complete the desk design. So the tabletop is just sitting on top to complete the desk design. I didn't want a typical computer desk. I wanted something with enough workspace so I can work on and have stuff on the side if I need to, and instead of just having a little tiny desk. So that's the reason why I went with this design. And then there's my 3 monitors that I did videos on in the past to show you how I set these things up. And I have one in portrait mode and the others in landscape mode. Now that portrait one becomes very handy when I'm doing research. So I can see the entire document on one strip instead of trying to scroll so many times. Plus when I'm checking my email and other stuff that I can see better in portrait mode versus landscape mode. And of course, right in the middle, I have that Echo Show. So that's the regular Echo Show, the big size, the 10-inch. And I still have my old school keyboard because I like that wired kind. It's just something that I like. Still have the old school mouse with the wire. I just like that too. Then I got my mouse pad. And then the desk, like I said, is kind of messy right now, but it is a work in progress. This is not the final look. Once I finish with this, you'll see what I'm talking about. So over here in this corner right here, that little thing right there, that's my switcher. So I have 2 computer systems, and in order to switch the keyboard and mouse to that other set, that's what I use to switch them back and forth. Plus I use it to connect my flash drive to when I want to download footage or images from my cameras. If we go back over here, we got a lamp on the wall. So that's housing the new Philips whiz bulb that I just purchased. There's one on each end. And I really wanted something that I can mount on the wall. So when I saw this on Amazon, it fit the bill because it blends in with the wall almost completely, but we have this little wood part right here that's creating a contrast. And then it's got these metallic knobs that I can loosen to adjust it up and down. Plus it swivels all the way around so I can put it up in the air if I want to. And then I can put it back down. It can push forward, it can push back. And that's what I like about it. But it mounts right there on the wall. I'm gonna put some strips like I have over here for the Echo to make this disappear and blend it with the wall instead of just sticking out like that. So that's part of the working project that I'm doing right now. So let's keep going across before I go up top. Over here, we got the secondary lamp. Now this monitor has a different arm than the other ones because it can actually go forward and back and twist around in all kind of different direction. These only go left and right. These other 2 over here, they go left and right. And if I want to put them up and down, I can adjust them too, but I'd have to manually go back there and loosen the screw. So this one has more adjustability, but that's what I really wanted this one to do anyway. I thought about putting another portrait monitor over here on the other end, but I don't think I'm gonna do that, even though the computer support it, but I think I'm gonna hold off on that one and just stick with what I got. Over here on this end, we have the other shelf that I built for my computer. So I did a video on that too, showing you my shelf that I built for my computer to get rid of that weird looking shelf thing that I had before. you know, the metal rack stuff. It didn't look proper. It didn't look professional, I should say. So when I built this shelf, I made enough room in it to put this case and probably a possible future case. So that's my Windows system on the right, and this is the Hackintosh on the left. The Windows machine I use for live streaming online, you know, my live DJ streaming. And this is my powerhouse right here for everything else. Video, graphics, music, you name it. Up top, I have all my equipment that I use for streaming and storage, because these are all my drives right here that I use to store all those footage that I have. I got the router behind this. I don't know if you can see it, but that's my Orbi right there. And then I got the cable modem. And then there's a tripod here. There's one more tripod. And there's also another tripod that I use to do my stuff, but it's not here right now, but it's over there. As a matter of fact, it's standing over there somewhere in the corner. So before we keep going around the room, down at the bottom, I have the subwoofer for my soundbar that's up top. Because, you know, I'm a Samsung guy, so I have Samsung soundbars and Samsung TV. And this is the newer 2019 Samsung TV because it has the Amazon Assistant capability built in, so I don't need any additional hardware to just tell her to turn the TV on and off and mute it and stuff like that. So I have all the displays set up in a routine to turn everything off at the voice command. So that's basically the tour of this side of the room right here. So I can just skim around one more time, and then there's all my stuff right there. There's another Echo device. So there's a quick look at it again one more time, just to skim around. Now, one more thing that I didn't show you, I don't know if you see it right there, is that camera. So I have another camera that I use for my live streaming. This camera will point to the direction of where I stand on the opposite side of the room for my live DJ streaming. So I just have it mounted right under that shelf right there using command strip, because I'm a firm believer in command strip. It keeps the wall from being damaged. Now let's talk about my lights. So in a previous video, I talked about how I was going to do a studio tour on my studio, but I was actually waiting to install my studio strips first before I did that tour. So now that the strips are installed, I can show you that part, even though this is not the final video yet, because like I said, I'm still trying to put things together, but it looks 10 times better than it did previously, because all those wire racks and stuff that I had in here wasn't looking good. I mean, it didn't look proper. So for me to demonstrate the lights, I'm going to dim down these studio lights that I have in here just to demonstrate what the lights look like with the TV strips. So give me a minute here. Let me walk over here and turn off this other light, because the studio lights does make this place bright, which is what I like. So there it is. That's the lights right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is show you what it looks like when all the lights turn to a particular color. Change all studio lights to red.
Okay.
So as you can see, all the lights have turned to red. And that's the ones under the shelf. Those are ones under the desk. As you can see, there's one under the desk. And then I have the other shelf over here. Plus the ones that's mounted on the walls. They turn red too. And even though these are all from the different manufacturer, they still work together because I have them in a group. So groups are amazing, because the strips are made by Govee, I think Govee, something like that. I'll leave the link in the description. And these are the Philips Whiz Bulbs, which I did in a previous video. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go ahead and check it out. Change studio lights to purple.
Okay.
Change studio lights to green.
Okay.
So as you can see right now, I have the top level that's green, but the shelves are still red. So I have them all separated. And anytime I want them all to turn one color, I just say change all studio lights to cyan. And as you can see, all the lights are now the same color. Even though the lights are from a different manufacturer, I can have them all in the same color that I like. So now let's go to the other half of the room, the unfinished half, I should say. Okay, so on this side of the room is where I do all my streaming stuff. That's why I have the green screen. The green screen I use to change the background, like, you know, in the movies. And if you heard about the green screen, you already know how it works. Plus, I use it for my videos too. So I don't really have a background that I can fully use yet, which I'm working on a design right now, which I probably use now that I have my studio set up just use the studio as a backdrop. But in the meantime, I'm using this green screen and I just changed the background in post. So it pretty much covered this side of the wall right here, all the way across and almost at the bottom. It's still got about maybe 2 foot from the bottom right there from the ground. Okay, so that's the green screen. So let's stroll on down to where the mess is. This is a little messy area right now because it's a work in progress. I have this folding table that holds up that wooden thing that you see over there, which I built to do 2 things. 1, to do my DJing, and 2, to do my videos. Now, when I need the top part cleaned off to do the videos, I put everything on that second shelf to store it down there temporarily, which I need this whole setup to be portable in case I need to move it from one location to the next. And that's the reason why I built it that way, using the folding table to be part of the portability. Now, what I'm trying to do is to make this table movable, because when I push it out from the wall, it's a little struggle to get it pushed back to the wall. I need it out of the way so I can have the room to do other stuff, because when it sits in the middle, it's taking up a lot of room. So my plan is to get some caster wheel, and instead of having this thing at the bottom right here, you know, this little rubber piece that came on top, I want to put some caster wheels here so I can roll it around easily on this carpet. So there's some inserts that I ordered, and the insert is going to go here, and then I'm going to put the caster wheels inside the insert. So once that's finished, it's going to be almost like this thing right here where you see it has the wheels on it, and also my chair, so I can move it around easily. So that's the main goal of this project right here. And hopefully, like I said, I get the parts in tomorrow and I can really get this thing cranking. So when I make the final video, you will see how everything is finally completed and how easily I can maneuver things around. There are my 2 Harman Kardon speakers. That's what I use to monitor the sounds when I'm doing that live DJ stuff. So all the equipment that I use for DJing is right under there. So I got my controller and then I got my mixer on the other side. Now at first I was going to use the furniture sliders to move this thing around, but it wasn't sliding as freely as I would want it to. So that's the reason why I came up with the wheel design to add wheel to these. And I didn't even know you could do stuff like that, but I'm a very resourceful guy, so I know how to research and find things and to make things possible. So that's pretty much the studio tour right there. And of course, there's my fireproof box. You should get one if you don't have one. Store all those important documents like your birth certificate, your passport. You never know if there's a fire. At least you might lose everything, but paperworks are hard to replace, especially birth certificate and stuff like that. Put that in a fire safe box and it's easy for you to get those paperwork. You know, even your precious memories like your photos and stuff like that. All right, so like I said, this is the pre-tour of my studio. The final product is coming soon, so stay tuned for that one. And if you see any what I call Chard eggs, which you know they call it Easter eggs, but I'm not Easter. My name is Chard, so I'm going to call them Chard eggs. So if you find any, go ahead and leave them in the comments and I'll let you know if you got them right or not. I want to thank you for taking the time for watching this video. If you like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.